My next guest is going to be back in action fighting UFC Fight Night, May 31st. It is right around the corner. Happy to be joined by Billy Goff here on the program. Billy, how you doing, man?
Fantastic. How are you, man?
Doing great. When did you find out about this fight? How did this all come together?
Um, my last fight fell out, and I was kind of itching. I was still training hard, expecting something to come up because I wanted to fight before I turned 27.
Okay.
Because it's already past a year since my last one, and I've been fighting once a year for the last 3 years now, which is extremely frustrating. So I was like, hey, give me something. But it's hard when they have to offer a certain amount of fights. They have to offer fights to everybody on the roster at least once a year. So they're like, my manager's like, hey, they're offering fights to everybody. I'm gonna try to jump on one. We'll see if it works. So a few weeks after my last one fell out which was the end of March, I think. I forget.
Oh, your last fight
was
was it would have been. It was end of February. It was February 22nd. Was UFC Seattle? I think.
Yeah. So beginning at early March, I found out about this one.
Oh, nice.
Because
Okay.
I was just hounding. Or actually, hold on, because I forget when I announced.
Either way, it looks like you got a full camp, right? So that's good.
Yeah, I got a full camp. I was fine. I rolled from one camp to the next, and I didn't take time off, and I got a little fat in between.
Yeah.
But I didn't take time off and do nothing. I was training. I was working hard. And I've been trying to. I haven't been in camp, but I've been working hard, and trying to get something since August of last year.
Right.
And I finally had something that fell out. Then this one jumped on it. So it was good to just all right, we can keep the ball rolling.
Good. Were there any other opponents in the mix, or Ko was just the only opponent you had?
Ko was the only opponent. He was the first one I got offered. If I said no to him, I probably wouldn't have gotten anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe, but probably not. So we said yes to the first guy they offered.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the thing I was wondering too, because we talked before the Seattle fight, what happened there? Because they ended up doing a welterweight fight. That was what was so weird. Is I know Fuja was on the card, then he wasn't, and then they put that Austin Vanderford fight on there against the Russian guy. The
guy that I was supposed to fight.
Yeah. So what happened there with you not getting on that card? Or did you have an injury? What happened there?
No, we were gonna fight. We were supposed to fight, and my coach didn't want to take the Vanderford fight. They offered us Vanderford last night, the day before we flew out. And my coach was like, no. He's like, he's not in the UFC. It's all risk, no reward. He's got nothing to lose and all that. My coach just didn't like it, so my coach said no. And my coach makes the decision on my.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm not implying anything. I just curious because they did have that fight on there, and that's why I was kind of like, well, what happened? Was there an injury or something? So just
No. And the thing is, they would have. The thing is they wanted Vanderford on the card. That's the thing. Because if when I said no to Vanderford, if they would have say, hey, do you want to fight Nikolai? Yeah, easily. One striker to the next striker. But my coach didn't like the striker to wrestler change up with no time to prepare. And the crazy thing too is after Fugit, a couple days after Fugit pulled out, he goes out and does an interview where he talks about he's been hurt for 2 weeks and just didn't want to say anything.
Right. Yeah, I remember seeing
and
that.
2 weeks ago, had he if he said something when he got hurt, and it was just, and we found out hey, he might pull out. There's this other guy that'll step in. Yeah, we'll fight whoever at that point because I got 2 weeks to prepare for. But with no time to change preparations, my coach just didn't like it. Especially because this next one's important, coming off a loss. That shouldn't be a loss, but whatever. So it was just, yeah, it is what it was.
No, and
I'm sure I'll see.
well, I was going to say it's important to talk about this stuff too, because I think what fans don't realize is if you say yes to every fight, it might, like, you could have a totally different opponent. Nothing's ideal when you're going into a fight, but it's also like how many fighters have said yes and then they're out of the UFC because they got a couple losses. It's not great circumstances. Like, you have to be mindful of the stuff that's going on in your career, right? If you don't, then you could easily be out of a job, and it's so hard to get back in the UFC once you've been released the first time, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, look at guys like because anytime I always hate saying, like, when my coach wants to say no, I hate it. Like, I always feel, even if I know I understand what he's saying no for, I always hate it because it feels like, oh, I'm being a bitch or this or that, and I just start beating myself up. Uh, and it's the right decision or the smart decision, but and my coach pointed out, and he's right. It's like John Jones, when I forget who he was supposed to fight, but when he fell out, um,
Dan Henderson. That was Dan
and Chael
Henderson.
Sonnen would have stepped in on notice. Yeah, and John Jones said no,
Mhm.
and he would have destroyed Chael Sonnen.
Mhm.
But there's no risk because he doesn't take dumb fights. So it's just like, if John Jones isn't a bitch for saying no, then I'm not.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Let's talk about the present, though. Obviously, you're fighting Ko here, 11-2 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
I feel like I match up really well with him. Sorry, I know I'm a little blurred, but can you hear
It's
me
all
just
good.
fine?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah, you're good.
All right, sorry.
All good.
Um, he's good. He's a little older. I think he'll be like 31 or something when we fight. He's a little older than me. Um, he's a striker with some wrestling. He hits hard. I mean, I guess he was a Sambo world champion. Um, I've watched his contenders fight over and over again. I think I am a better striker than him, and I don't think he's going to be able to take me down. He might get me down, but he won't keep me down. Um, uh, but I don't think he's going to get me down. There's always a chance, you know. He swings big, he swings heavy, so I got to be smart with those. Um, don't want to get clipped, you know. Um, I think but I think I'm going to be able to do what I want against him. Um, I think I'm more versatile. I think I'm more well-rounded, and I'm a more dynamic fighter. So I'm going to have the advantage on the feet and on the ground. Um, I'm for once going to be the longer guy, not by much, but I get to be the long guy
Mm-hmm.
in the fight. Um, so I think it's going to be a good fight. I have a lot to pay attention to and worry about because he hits hard and he's accurate. Um, and he's a good wrestler. So I have a lot to keep in mind. But he's not the I've had that with every opponent. So
Yeah. No, fair enough. Take me through camp a bit. Who've been some of the main guys helping you get ready for this one?
my teammates, I've had a few. The nice thing about this camp, even it was after I rolled from one camp to the next. I had two teammates also fight this month. One of them's fighting next Saturday. Jared Sweet at Cage Titans. Um, he so I've been a part of his camp, and my teammate Marcus Citrone. He got his amateur win, his amateur debut. He won May 9th at Reality, and they've been working their ass off. So to be able to work the early parts of my camp through some of their camp, and like just like as we've been trailing together, um, it's been a huge help. Coming down on the weekends, I've had Trevor Goody from up north, Brendan Ward's been coming down. Some Austin Shalley's been coming in. Jake Katsky, Eric Zane, they've been helping me a lot. They're really good wrestlers. Just my usual crew.
Yeah, I was gonna say, got to stick with what works. How do you see this fight playing out on May 31st? How's this one unfolding?
I have a game plan and I want to stick to it, no matter what. That's the biggest problem. That was the biggest problem in the last fight. I got impatient and just fought like an idiot. Um, and this one, I just want to stick to the game plan. In the first round, I have a plan for each round. First round, um, the it's for me. Like there's things that I got to work on, and it might be a little boring to some people, but I don't really care. The first round's for me, just to work on certain stuff. The second round is for Michael Bisping, and the third round's for the fans. So I'm not chasing for a finish in the first or the second. I'm not chasing for a finish in general. Um, I have a game plan and I want to stick to it, and whatever comes of that, if I finish them, I finish them. But I want just complete control throughout the fight.
The plan the rest of the year just to keep active? What are some of your goals for this year? As obviously, like we're getting to the halfway point of the year, coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, wanted to fight 3 times this year. I think I still can. It just depends on like what I get offered, my health and whatnot. As long if I get out of this fight unscathed, which it's always a toss up whether or not you do. But if I can walk away from this one with minimal injuries, I mean I kind of did from the last one too, but it still took forever to get a fight. So I'd like to fight 3 times this year, but we'll see. I mean, it depends on what I get. There's a lot of guys on the roster. The I Outside of that, I just want to do some traveling and get some tattoos.
Love it. Sounds like a good rest of the year for you. And just last question, obviously big thing in your division. We got a new champion, Jack Della Maddalena, defeating Bilal Muhammad. What did you think of that performance?
Kind of what I expected. I think Maddalena's got some of the best hands in the division. He's a problem. I was surprised Bilal didn't, and I didn't watch all of it, but it didn't seem like Bilal wrestled as much as he should have, which I think he was trying to like do it for the fans, like give him a war and whatnot, which everybody said it was a phenomenal fight. Bilal did a great job. He earned a lot of people's respect for putting on a show. Um, but at the end of the day, are you fighting for yourself, like for your own legacy? Are you fighting for to be the best, or are you fighting for the fans?
Hmm.
And what matters more to you? Like I don't fight for the fans. Luckily, the way that I like to fight and the way that I usually fight, fans are a fan of it. Um, but I think it's foolish to, and I don't know. I don't know what was in his head. I don't know what his plan was. I haven't seen him say anything about it. Um, but I think Maddalena is going to do a great job. I think Maddalena is going to hold the belt for a while. I think the only person who might take it from him is Shavkat,
Hmm.
but I think he's going to piece Shavkat up. So it's just a whether or not Shavkat can wrestle him, which he's been showing that he's getting better and better at wrestling.
Yeah, it was a great performance. This was a great interview, Billy. I appreciate it. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Absolutely. My sponsor that's been rocking with me since the beginning, Nummy's Bakery. They're my main sponsor right now. Um, the so shout out to them. Shout out to my team. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. They're the ones that help me get ready. They're the ones that give me the confidence to walk into the cage, um, like I do. And just thank you for the time, man.
Hey, thank
Everybody
you.
tune in next Saturday for my teammate Jared Sweet, his fight up at Cage Titans.